10 rebounds and 9 assists. The question is, where will that come from for the Hoyas?
Tap is won easily by Eagle FA, and Georgetown starts on offense. Both these two teams, the last time they were in the short pants was 6 days ago. They both played last Friday, and both lost a ball game. First shot of our ball game up and in, that's Colin Holloway.
Yeah, timing is so important. You know, we talk about when you've had time off, getting your second win, but most importantly, the timing of what you're doing offensively, defensively, your communication, so important to start these games when you've had some downtime.
Butler with the basketball, never seems to be in a hurry. They'll work it around until they find something they like. Thompson, back out, catch and shoot, Bolden, a little bit short. Here comes that freshman, Aminu Mohammed. A lot of fun to watch, and that shot is up and in. How about that? Caden Rice, his first three.
Yeah, you got to find him. Quick release. He's got the ultra green light, and Aminu Mohammed understands when he's on the wing, you better find him in transition.
Georgetown shoots just 32% from behind the three-point line. They've already made a pair 80 seconds into our game. Butler last time out Friday, they lost against Xavier. One of 4 games they've lost against ranked teams this year.
And there you see a move when you got a Big Tim down low. That's what happens. Players start to fall away off the 1 foot like Dirk Nowitzki. Not going to work against Big Fella.
Seton Hall and Bowling Green, and officially 500 as a head coach. 201 up, 201 down. And much to my chagrin, we discovered that as the acting head coach, he does not get credit for a win or loss today, Donnie. So he's still going to be sitting on that fence.
Oh, look, mentally he can tell. If he wins, I got my 202nd win. If he loses, it actually doesn't count. So we'll just go with that.
Jair Bolden rings the bell. That's the first bucket for Butler. We've got 3 made field goals combined in the game. All of them have been triples.
Yeah, Jair Bolden, one of those interesting players, played under Frank Martin at South Carolina. Tough, hard-nosed guy. You know, talk about being well-traveled, which we'll see a lot this year for college basketball. He's one of those guys.
I love Aminu Mohammed when he is in that paint. He is super active.
Long arms. He's got the work ethic. And the most important thing, the thing you can't teach is that instinct. You know, so many players have great ability and they play hard, but to have the instincts of knowing where the ball is, where it's coming off, how to read the defense, boy, he has that already at a young age.
Bolden thought about a deep three, relocates, and that one's off the mark, but it's run down in the corner by Bryce Inzie. Here's Bryce Golden.
Little give and go would have been nice there from Bryce to Bryce. I think Inzie put his hands up like, hey, I was open underneath.
Another quick trigger from Caden Rice. This time it's off the iron. Pushing the envelope. It's Thompson with the missed layup.
And that's important for Thompson to get going in transition. Not a great three-point shooter. He likes to get his in transition in the painted area for his confidence.
An absolute prince. Just a joy to talk to.
So good for the kids, too. When we talk about college coaches, we always talk about how many games they've won, where they've been, who they've coached. But the one thing I think we miss is how good they are for their players. And not just to create great basketball players, but to create great men. And he is one of those rare coaches that I would let my child play for. He's just that good of a human being on top of being a terrific coach.
Bryce Inzie, his first bucket of the game.
A lot of pressure, too. We've seen it, Eric. Going back to your alma mater, I don't care how long you've been gone. Mike Woodson probably the newest when it comes to that, going back to Indiana. And Juwan Howard, the list kind of continues to go on and on. But there's a lot of pressure that comes with coaching at your alma mater.
And Patrick Ewing can attest to that.
There he is.
Bolden, a little spready Freddy with those legs. That's his second three-pointer made.
That was a much better three than the second one he took. That was balance, had his feet underneath him, and you and I are, on the other hand, maybe not underneath him, and You and I are, on the other hand, maybe not tonight because they're down some guys. Their focus has been scoring, getting that ball out, using their athletes this season. So it's interesting how those two things kind of come back and they level off.
8-8 tie. We have played close to 5 minutes here in our first half. Great interior pass. Thompson finds Bolden.
Eric, I can't tell you how important it is. Just like it's a cardinal sin to foul a three-point shooter, the opposite of that is what coaches love the most. When you can fist, it's an awesome play call, as you see there, and running it to completion and getting an easy one. That's just a beautiful thing to see for coaches.
Georgetown, the first team to go to the bench. They bring in Malcolm Wilson to be the center. He replaces Ego Efe. And the bucket is good by Tyler Beard. First field goal for the freshman from Chicago.
Yeah, and what happens now, Eric, there's an opportunity. You know, you got to step in, next man up. Here's a chance for a guy like Tyler Beard. Yes, he plays 13, 14 minutes a game, but you can get extended minutes and show your coaches, look, I deserve to be on the floor. Great opportunity for guys.
Izzy thought about it, instead passes it over to Golden. Back-to-back layups, Bryce Golden.
How about a little kind of no look to no one down low to the big fella, but great hands. Sometimes bigs, when they see a guard jump in the air or even go in that shooting motion or even the floating motion, they turn their head and they look away from the ball. That's just great focus there by Golden to stay in the moment.
Shot clock down to 9. Beard has to pick up the dribble. Here's the freshman Mohammed. Butler, this is just their second true road game. Aaron Thompson, left-handed layup.
Talked about it earlier, Eric, that's what he does. He gets downhill, does a really nice job, uses both hands very, very well. And just one of those guys, not a terrific shooter from outside. He's only taken 10 threes on the season, but he can be crafty and get into the paint.
Georgetown taking some time to get into their offense. Colin Hollowell, the misfire with the left hand. Here comes Butler with the lead in the ball. Bolden. He's already made a couple of threes, misses that one, rebounded Wilson. Oh, man.
On college, scratch it, catch it. But still, you want a pass delivered where you can do something with it, especially if you're open. Beard has to understand that.
Chuck Harris into the ball game now, gets a screen from Ty Gross. Butler making some changes. Gross, second time he touches it, puts it up, misses on the three.
It's a little different look for Georgetown without some guys. They're not going to really force, and then you run a guy over the next time down the floor. This is where that 2-foot jump stop comes in. I know a lot of players don't think it's fancy. They watch the NBA and they want to jump over guys. But you got to be fundamentally sound against a good defensive team. Shows it right there.
Ryan Mutombo comes in.
Yeah. He actually pushed it. Yeah. He actually pushed it. He's right. He actually pushed it up. He didn't tap it in. He pushed it up and over the rim.
Jalen Billingsley has come into the game for Georgetown. Freshman from Cleveland, Ohio. He wears number 4.
Oh, gosh. I don't know if I've done a game with you, and there has not been a Cleveland reference. Guys who was at Marquette the last few years. Shaka Smart's just a new voice. He's brought a lot of new guys in, and sometimes they say nothing sweeps like a new broom.
Ooh, I like that. Actually, never heard that before.
You can use that.
Yeah.
Use that. Yeah. And he has all the mannerisms, the facial expressions. He's got the walk, the stance. He doesn't have the finger wag yet, though. I think that's trademarked, so I think he'd owe his dad a lot if he used that.
How many times did Dikembe block your shot, Donnie?
Well, we were teammates, so not a ton. And listen, It's hard to block a shot of a guy who's sitting at the end of the bench. That's the other issue that I had with Dikembe. But no, he was a fantastic teammate when we were with the Nets together, went to the NBA Finals, and just an amazing, just a great guy, but also can't teach. Well, this is obviously not taught. That's DNA, that's genetics, but the timing is great. The one thing I will say about Ryan is his athletic ability. He's in the conference. Even UConn's Adama Sanogo, he's going to face up and knock down a 15-foot jumper, and that's the difference of 7'2 today and 7'2 20 years ago.
Butler and get the turnover. All right, we do have a change on the floor need to tell you about. For the first time all season long, Bo Hodges has checked into the game for Butler. He wears number 0. He's the transfer from East Tennessee State, played a bit last year. He's a talented player. Left-handed layup up and in, Tyler Beard.
That's good offense there, really good spacing. Come down, run that half-court offense, so important for Georgetown. Butler's one of those teams that'll make you pass it, and use up all that time on the clock. Have to stay patient.
I got my numbers confused, Donnie. I apologize. Bo Hodges, number 1. Number 1, Bo Hodges. The senior from Nashville by way of East Tennessee State. And there's his first shot of the year. And he wants a do-over. Rebounded Caden Rice. Tie ball game, 14 all. Mohammed looking for his first score.
Little force there. His size advantage was not on his side.
Man, that's too bad. Jump shots from Butler. Most recent one
down the floor. Sometimes you're so anxious, as you saw that jump shot that hit the top of the backboard. You haven't really been out on the floor and touched the ball in about 4 months due to injury. Those jitters, heart rate's about 220.
Bolden misses the jump shot. Here comes Georgetown. Tie ball game.
And yes, even the teams that don't shoot it well still work very hard on those things in practice. You're open, you got to shoot it.
Billingsley up and in out the window.
Another out-of-bounds play that just run to perfection. Those are ones that Louis Orr remembers and says, okay, we got to put that one in the memory bank. Dog ear that one mentally.
Lukosius playing keep away with Thompson up high. Now Bolden involved. Lukosius. Georgetown scored the last 6 points in our ball game.
Well, they've missed threes every way possible, Eric. That's for sure. Front rim, top of the backboard. I would imagine the next one's got to go in for Butler.
Oh, what a beautiful pass, and Billingsley can't catch it in. Oh, we'd have been talking about that one for a while if the shot had just fallen. Harris. Finally, something falls from Butler.
Well, we called it. Top of the backboard, front rim, backboard. And Harris knocks one down. This team last year led this team in scoring as a freshman.
And this is a fun game for him. He is from the DMV. He's from Ashburn, Virginia. He played at Gonzaga Prep, same high school as a bunch of Georgetown Hoyas over the years. Just off the top of my head, Mark Tillman, wonderful player back in the late 80s, early 90s. It's actually a bunch of Butler guys from the DMV. You got Aaron Thompson. Bryce Golden is from Richmond, Virginia, not too far away. Shot off the mark by Harris. Donnie, you were from Seattle. When you were playing in the Big East at UConn, did you ever play a game anywhere close to the Pacific Northwest?
Nowhere close. Well, I would say NCAA tournament. We got out to California, played in Utah, but we had to get to the tournament to get out there.
It's a whole different dynamic when you're 18 years old and you're playing in front of family and friends.
Oh, yeah.
Turnaround by Mutombo. Nice shot from Ryan.
I like this. Georgetown playing with a nice pace, running their stuff on the offensive end. It allows them to get back into that zone.
Batted out by Golden.
Those shots, and Butler's feeling that in this half. Georgetown is almost daring them to shoot those threes from outside, and it's worked so far. I would say, though, if you're Georgetown and you're in that zone, it's not a time to relax and rest, because that painted area along the baseline, the Big East logo, those are the weak spots, and Butler is well coached, and they will start to figure that out and not continue to shoot those threes.
Great offense. Beard finds Ego FA.
Finally get the big fella involved. It's so important. You know, you ask your big fella to block shots, change shots. Got to give him some love on that offensive end.
Georgetown has played 3 different 7-footers here in our first half. Mutombo, Ego FA, and Wilson. Blocked away by Ego FA, but they're going to say he got a bit of the arm. So we'll have free throws for Lukosius.
And this is Big Tim's territory.
Yeah, that's really still Big East basketball. This is our first free throw. And for either side, we've got 6:53 remaining in our first half. Lukosius is now 17 for 20 as a college free throw shooter. Big East Freshman of the Week a couple of weeks ago had a 15-point ball game against DePaul. From Lithuania. That's a good-looking free throw form.
Such a great name, too. Lukosius.
If he's an eloquent speaker, he'd be loquacious, right?
There you go. I think I've called you Lukosius before. I just think you're just one of those Lukosius guys. Whatever that means, I don't know.
Lukosius, after hitting 2 free throws, will sit. Bryce Golden comes back in. Aminu Mohammed. Golden a rebound.
He's missed a couple of those under duress. Butler doing a good job of really attacking him, making him change his shot.
Golden actually thought the official was his teammate, Jaden Taylor. Lucky not to turn that over. Thompson didn't want to. He has only made 16 three-pointers in his college career. That's not his game.
And that's why you saw the slow cover out to him. Under control, force him to beat you over the top, because he is really good at getting to the paint.
Oh, my. Tyler Beard from 5 feet behind the line is fouled, and he'll have 3 free throws.
Well, Eric, we talked about that earlier. That's a cardinal sin. As much as coaches love running their plays out of timeouts, out of bounds under to completion, this on the other side of it is just hard to stomach.
Aaron Thompson's been playing college basketball for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's a mistake that he's not going to be happy with.
I like the way you put it, because I would have said he's been playing college basketball too long to make that mistake. And he knows that.
Well, Beard shoots 66% from the free throw line. He's made 2. Math tells me that this one's probably not going in. But math sometimes lies. Beard makes all 3, and the lead is now 4 for Georgetown.
Yeah, Georgetown being down, 3 guys. That's a total of 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists with Harris, Carey, and Clark. And I'm telling you, they're playing so well right now. Under control, playing together. Look at that defense.
Georgetown steals it. They've got it back with a 4-point lead. Rice, what a quick trigger. Rebounded by Inzi. Donnie, Jaden Taylor hadn't taken a shot so far for Butler. He averages 10 points per game. Taylor wears number 13. He's got 9 minutes of playing time. Hadn't even attempted a shot. That's Golden. He's off to a nice start. He's got 6 points next to his name.
And that's the issue when you have Ego FA defending a big man down low, a guard or small forward, because they are going a little bit smaller here at Georgetown, at least in their guards and wings. Someone has to V back and box out the other big. And you'll see it right here, Eric. The Bryces are working down low for Butler. So now on the other side, Rice cannot allow Bryce Golden to get inside of him. You got to just get in the big guy's way. We know that some of these big guys are really strong, but if you stand your ground, they're going to have to go over your back. They'll call it, but that's just too easy for Bryce Golden on the offensive glass.
Beard has now made 4 consecutive free throws. Chuck Harris comes back into the game for Butler. Beard's from Chicago, freshman, played at Whitney Young High School, the Dolphins. A lot of well-known people have gone to Whitney Young over the years. Former First Lady Michelle Obama. Of the basketball variety, you got Quentin Richardson, Jahlil Okafor. 4-point ball game.
Love this. Again, Georgetown staying with it. And the idea with the zone, Eric, is just to be active. Use those hands.
Bolden's third three-pointer of the half. So it's been Bolden and Golden doing work for Butler.
And again, another on balance, just a well-read shot to get to an open spot. Little brush screen at the top.
Chuma Azinge is into the game. Azinge doesn't get a lot of playing time, but he's the one who just took that last shot for Georgetown. Inzi rattles it through. Just the 6th three-pointer of the year for the grad student from Milwaukee.
And again, not a great three-point shooting team, but eventually you leave them open, they're going to start making them. We saw the last 2 trips. This is what you work on in practice, along with your free throw shooting, everything else. There are no teams in America that are saying, you know what, we're not shooting three-pointers today in practice. No matter how good or how poorly you shoot it, you're working on it.
And a foul called on Butler trying to grab a rebound. It's going to be called on Bryce Inzi.
Yeah, game changers. Three-point shooting. Look at the nice.
All over the map. He was a basketball player, George Washington. Right there in Foggy Bottom, just, blocks away from the arena. Also played in the SEC at South Carolina. And now his 2nd year with Butler. Igo Efe misses the front end of a 1-and-1. And the Hoyas give it right back to Butler. Butler up a pair. Don't know why Bolden hesitated.
Nice little 6-0 run here. The last minute or so for Butler. On the road, you want to try to put those together. 3 plays normally to try to build a lead.
Rebounded in traffic by Igo Efe. Bo Hodges back into the game for Butler. First game of the year for Hodges. He wears number 1. Look at that pass. Igo Efe finishes at the rim. Give the assist to Beard.
That's a great play. Again, the patience that Georgetown has shown this entire game. Patrick Ewing questioned some of that, their passion, how much they really wanted to win against Marquette. Well, guys have come out tonight, and look, albeit you got some guys who are getting more minutes, but showing that they really care.
Holloway knew that alley-oop was coming and got back just in time to knock it away. Another dime by Beard, this one knocked away. Worked the first time, not the second. And that's the first shot of the game by Jaden Taylor, and he's fouled.
And now remember, Igo Efe is the one who got the rebound, changed the shot, got the rebound, and look, he's down there faster than any other Butler big man, and that's what you call threading the needle. Again, you want to, got to give your bigs some love, man. A lot of times, bigs in this day and age of college basketball, they turn into second shot players, and that just means they're playing, their only chance they get to touch the ball is on offensive rebounds. You don't want them to be second shot players. If they're defending and changing shots, blocking shots, you do just that. You give guys the ball, let them finish down low.
Jaden Taylor, freshman from Indianapolis, that's his first point of the game. He has started every game this year for Laval, Georgia. 15 consecutive starts to begin his college experience. We were talking to Coach Jordan earlier today. He was gushing about Jaden Taylor and just his head, his knowledge of basketball at a young age. And we've got to travel, gives it right back over to Butler.
Yeah, Taylor is one of those guys, freshman And Coach Jordan said it, they want to score. That's what they know. But he was impressed by the way that Taylor could sit down, meaning he could get in front of guys and defend. That thing they call two-way players nowadays, Eric.
Hodges darts inside. Can't finish with the left hand. Oh, the ball falls right back into his lap. First points of the year for Bo Hodges.
And that's what his game is. Taking it hard, using that big, strong body, absorbing some contact, just trying to make something out of nothing.
Mohammed is now 1 for 8 shooting the basketball. Just 2 points for Aminu Muhammad, who before the season began was the Big East preseason freshman of the year. Tapped up and in. I'm not sure who got that, if that was Inzi or Taylor, but it counts for 2.
But another situation where Big Tim is down there by himself. He needs some help. Got to box some guys out, but this is so important.
Just placing Patrick Ewing for tonight's game. Louis Orr played for Jim Boeheim at Syracuse in the 70s. Jim Boeheim is still coaching Syracuse.
Why do you say it like that? Louis Orr is only, what, 38, 39? Why are you saying it like that, Eric?
He had a long NBA career. He's been a head coach at 3 different spots. He's got a lot of success. Years. He's got a full head of white hair.
Yeah.
A lot of the world has changed, but nothing has changed in Central New York. Jim Boeheim. Yeah, it was called the Louis and Bowie Show. Louis Orr and Roosevelt Bowie were 2 stars very, very, very early in the first incarnation of Big East basketball. Holloway misses badly on the free throw. Final 40 seconds of our first half. Chuck Harris working against Mutombo. And now it's Butler's turn to call a timeout. We'll take a quick timeout. Back with the final 31 seconds of our first half. And alongside his former New York Knicks teammate, Patrick Ewing, they spent 3 years together playing in Gotham for the Knicks.
It's always nice to have a guy next to you that, one, obviously, you can trust and that has that calming voice like Louis does for Pat, but also that you'll listen to. You know, that to me is the other thing that you need for an assistant. You need to be able to listen to your assistant coach.
Lukosius, that beats the buzzer, but it's offline, and Georgetown can hold for the final shot of the half. Beard flips it behind his back, and Rice just has to fire a Hail Mary, and it doesn't find a home. So that's the way the first half draws to a close. Yeah, Butler got up to a sluggish start. Butler 59-9 when they lead at the half, including 11 straight wins in that scenario. Butler currently leading by 5. 20 minutes of basketball remaining. Just a reminder, Georgetown, Patrick Ewing, not the coach tonight. Instead, it's Louis Orr, Dante Harris, Donald Carey, both big parts of what the Hoyas are doing. They both are not in uniform as well tonight.
Just keep an eye on that Big East logo. There's a little deflection, love deflections. A lot of teams use that as an official stat. I wish, you know, when we have stats, that would be one of those that is always set in there because it's so important. And every coach around the country, major basketball, they use that stat, deflections, as an important one.
Let's see if Jaden Taylor can get going. Freshman from Indianapolis, he did not shoot the basketball once in the first half. Thompson finds the cutting Bryce Inzi, and Inzi is fouled.
And that's what Thompson does. He just knows his game, and you said it earlier, Eric. You've been in school 5 years. You know all the tricks. You know all the secrets. And that's the one. You get into the paint, you attract some attention, and you find a guy.
Inzi. Have another. Inzi missing some time earlier this year with a shoulder injury. You see that harness on his left shoulder. Actually played for Laval Georgia, two different schools. He began his college experience at Milwaukee. UW-Milwaukee, the Panthers. And when Coach Jordan moved to Butler, he went with him. There was a time when Butler and UW-Milwaukee were fierce rivals back when Butler was in the Horizon League. Eagle FA. Bolden hits the deck. Eagle FA can't take advantage, and Bolden got the loose ball. What a pass! Score the goal and a foul! Jaden Taylor! Chance for a three-point play.
How about the effort at the other end, though, defensively for Butler? And I love that Golden got up after trying to take a charge and makes the correct play. I also want to point out that I love that the officials did not blow the whistle for a flop or an offensive foul. That to me has been kind of a bone of contention both ways. You know, just because a guy takes contact and falls doesn't mean it's always a flop. And you're taught in practice, take a charge, absorb the contact and fall. I like that the refs let him play there.
Dating back to the end of the first half, Butler's on a 10-0 run. Mohammed has had a tough shooting ball game. Eagle FA, no, batted out, and it's going to be Georgetown ball. Georgetown down by 10.
Great hustle by Big Tim there. Keeping his body up, trying to keep it alive.
Big Tim. Mohammed lost it. Golden seems to pick up every loose ball, doesn't he? Bolden. Mohammed. He's now 1 for 11 shooting the basketball.
And you and I talked about it off air, his last couple of games, the struggles. But in this game, Eric, they're not running anything for him. All of his offense has come off of creating it on his own, and Butler's done a tremendous job of bodying up and putting two guys on him no matter where he is.
Look at Bryce Golden. It has been his second half. Offensively, defensively, on the glass, Bryce Golden has played a real...
One told him and he got it tied. Okay.
He did.
Guys are looking out for him. Okay.
If you're a superstitious guy, you leave him untied, right?
Leave him untied. I'm with you.
Golden's now got 9 points, 5 rebounds. He's tied for the team high in points with Bolden. It's been the Golden and Bolden show. Knocked loose. That was Taylor who got a hand on it. And we've got bodies on the floor. We'll have a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Georgetown.
When we talk to Laval Jordan, you know, that he knows that defensively they know what they're doing, but it's the offensive end. And I've talked to so many coaches this season who have said, if our offense can catch up with our defense, we're going to be really, really good. And so far in this game, look, Butler's only shooting 38%, but they're knocking down shots at the right time, and they're stretching this game out like they're supposed to. You know, their defense their offense is keeping up with their defense tonight, Eric.
Butler doing a great job of getting in the passing lane and just knocking passes away. A lot of deflections. That last one, Aaron Thompson. Georgetown's made a change. 2.5 minutes into our second half. Timothy Iguefe comes out. Ryan Mutombo replaces him. And a foul on Bolden at the three-point line. Trying to stay in front of Caden Wright. This game was tied at 27, folks. It was 27 all, tail end of our first half. And since that time, Butler's gone on a 13-0 run.
And they've done it with their defense. Really, they've gotten stops. They've made it uncomfortable for Aminu Muhammad. There's another one. Foul there, but still, you can see what they're doing. They've run 3 or 4 different guys at him all night long.
Donnie, when you're an elite player like Aminu Muhammad, who's had success everywhere he's been, and you start the game 1 for 11 from the field, are you cognizant of that number?
Absolutely. But the other thing that separates the good ones from the great ones is the good ones will just continue on that same path and probably continue to struggle. The great players find other ways to affect the game. They make teammates around them better. And right now, down 13, down 12. If you're a great player, and listen, you put a lot of pressure on the young guy, but I think he can handle it. This is when you get yourself to that next level. Pull your team out of it. Do something else to affect this game positively.
That stops a 13-0 run for Butler. Bolden swirls it through. Fourth three-pointer of the game for Bolden.
Georgetown just a step slow, trying to find Bolden, and those guys are on that three-point line.
And scored the goal. Wow, wild shot with the left hand, Colin Holloway. Knew the contact was there, and he'd get an and one if it went in. Just threw it in the direction of the cup, and it falls.
Yeah, nice job here. There's that 2-foot jump stop I wanted to see from him a little earlier when he had a charge. Allows him to now pivot, get some contact, go up strong, and chance for an and one.
Holloway played all of 46 minutes last year. That was it. 46 minutes next to his name for his freshman campaign. This year he's averaging 9.5 points per ball game. And he's got the makings of a good Big East scorer. Butler's last game, Friday against Xavier. Georgetown's last game, Friday against Marquette. Both these schools coming off losses. Thompson looking for help. There was nothing there. Even if that pass hadn't hit the backboard, it was going to go directly out of bounds.
And that's when you need a teammate to now run to that opposite corner, and the teammate just wasn't there.
Mutombo sets the screen. Great hands by Mohammed, but it's blocked away by Taylor.
Stifling Butler defense.
Rebounded Mutombo. Hands like vice grips. John Michael Malloy has come into the game. Checked in last whistle. It's the first time we've seen Malloy. Didn't play at all in the first half. And we've got a timeout on the floor. It's a 12-point game.
Well, Eric, the difference has been that three-point line. Find this guy. Just having an opportunity to see things outside of basketball that I would not normally be able to see. That's what these players, these young men are getting. And again, can't say enough about LaVall Jordan and how he has really done a great job of cultivating not just really strong basketball players, but great young men. Continues to do so.
Chuck Harris after the timeout splashes the mid-ranger.
There's another play out of the timeout. Stay focused, run your stuff. Butler is dialed in right now, sharing that basketball.
And a foul. Harris trying to stay in front of Holloway. Butler's finally whole for the most part. Getting Bo Hodges into a game for the first time this year. Hodges played just a handful of minutes in the first half, but the fact that he's available makes a difference. Butler thinks that when it's all said and done, Bo Hodges is going to impact a lot of games. Now the fouls picking up on Butler. That's 5 team fouls here in the first 4 minutes and 50 seconds of our second half. We get to 7, and the other side's in the bonus. Beard. Malloy a rebound.
Boy. There's a lid on that basket for Georgetown.
Skip pass. How about that soft touch for Inzi?
And especially the second half, Georgetown continues to be a step slow. The ball is swung from wing to corner, and you're taught to turn and run, not turn and look. And many times this half, Georgetown is turning and looking and not turning and running, and Butler's making them pay.
Mutombo lost it. And a foul in the backcourt called on Holloway. Donnie, this is very similar to what we saw last Friday here in this building when Georgetown played Marquette even in the first half and then collapsed in the second half.
Yeah, trying to maintain that focus and trying to get your players to maintain that focus. Louis Orr's got his hands full, obviously, and you're coming off of a game like that where you think you learn your lesson and your coach kind of tells you, look, you got to have more pride than what we showed against Marquette. Look, there's a lot of time left, but you got to try to stop the bleeding here a little bit if you're Georgetown, and it starts at this end.
Bolden. Everything falling right now for Butler.
Just not a lot of shots under duress, though, for Butler. They're making open shots. Now, they're creating those open shots for themselves, but defensively, Georgetown is just, there's nothing that shows a guy with a hand in the face making that extra effort. And you hate to see that in a competitive game, or again, it's supposed to be competitive, and you hate to see it even more for a team that's at home.
Well, Georgetown does have the excuse of inactivity. Before they played Marquette last Friday, they were off for 20 days dealing with COVID and health and safety protocols, and they had games that were postponed, 4 of them. And then you got back to it on Friday, you played a game, and now you've got a whole full week of practice. And it's hard to kind of get everyone in sync, and you factor in no Dante Harris tonight, no Donald Carey, Kobe Clark are not available as well. And you can kind of see why they're disjointed. Finally, something falls. It's Jalen Billingsley.
And that's where I think the damage has to be done for most of this 13 minutes or so. Now, you got to take shots if you're open, but the painted area, you have a size advantage, you have some athleticism. The Hoyas have to try to get into the teeth of the defense.
Bolden, another one. Oh. He has made 5 triples. Beard. That wasn't a pass, but it acted like a pass. Give the goal to Mutombo.
Well, there it is. You get your buckets in the paint. You got athletes to get downhill, but you have to get stops first.
Heat check for Bolden. Billingsley, every which way but loose. Off the window. Back-to-back buckets for the freshman.
It's a beautiful play. Use the pivot. They can adapt to their surroundings in terms of what their players respond to. And Laval Jordan has shown that his is, calming guys down and telling them, look, fearless, not reckless. There's a difference where, look, it was reckless, fearless, however you get it done. That's how you get it done. The game has really evolved, man.
Bo Hodges checks in for Butler. Hodges played 6 minutes in the first half. First game of the year for Hodges, for whom a lot is expected. Georgetown has the ball. The offense has stepped up a bit in the last minute or 2 of our ball game. They're down by 16.
Still have to get this thing going downhill a little bit. That's the guy who really has to get it going and can't settle.
Aminu Mohammed will have free throws when we come back to Capital One Arena. 16-point ball game, making itself comfortable. Sitting on the bench right now, cooling his heels. Casey's needed. 11:58 remaining in our game. It's a 16-point game. This is a 1-and-1 for Aminu Mohammed, and he misses the front end. Whew. It's been a tough night for the freshman. Twice Muhammad's been the Big East Freshman of the Year, so he comes with a pedigree, but it's just not working right now.
Yeah, as much as you want to score, these are character-building games for a guy like Muhammad. No one wants to go through this, but how you respond from this and how you finish this game off the last 11 and a half is important.
Chuck Harris with the steal. Here's Bo Hodges, first game of the year. Coming off a knee injury. Pass deflected. Harris is going to have to fire from deep. And Lukosius fouls Beard. Because of the 1-and-1, we'll have free throws for Beard. Well, this is what Georgetown is looking at. These are their 4 top scorers coming into the game. The guys in red are not playing. Dante Harris, Donald Carey not in uniform tonight. But Mohammed and Rice, Donnie, a combined 6 points.
It's astounding. 2 for 19 combined.
Really, the only thing that Butler has done wrong here in the second half is they got into foul trouble. 18 fouls, so 1-and-1 for Georgetown. And Beard hits the first, he'll have another. See Muhammad practicing that stroke, waiting for another opportunity. Timothy Iguefe back into the game. He's the center. Mutombo left. Every moment of the game today, Georgetown has had a 7-footer on the floor. Either Wilson, Iguefe, or Mutombo. And a foul on Beard trying to stay in front of Chuck Harris.
Yeah, Chuck Harris, we talked about it earlier, led this team, this Butler team, in scoring last season. The first freshman in 41 years to lead Butler in scoring. Tony Warren back in 1979-80, the last guy to do it with no three-point line, average 18 points a game.
Look at Bo Hodges. That's what he can do. Extra possession for the Bulldogs. And they can't cash in.
At least Georgetown still got some fight to them. There's plenty of time in this game.
Last touch by Holloway.
At some point, though, you have to have some semblance of an offense. I understand it's a secondary break, there's a primary break, but how about some pick and rolls? They did in the first half, the Hoyas, a little bit. Got Iguefe down low, the pick, the slip. Haven't seen a lot of that in the second half, and I think it's because guys are trying to get themselves going. Muhammad, you know, a couple guys really trying to force the issue a little bit. You have to run sharp stuff against Butler.
Bolden back into the game. He has made 5 3-pointers. He's got a game-high 17 points. Last touch by Thompson. Wonderful move by Muhammad, just nothing falling. And now he lost it on the way up.
Wow.
Oh, man. That's been the story of the night for Georgetown. They had 4 good looks. Nothing fell. And Inzi, the other way, a layup.
Butler on the spot, though. They've done it all game long. They've shown up. Been fortunate. You do the work early. Good things happen.
Clean strip by Hodges. Again, point-blank range for Georgetown, and they can't capitalize. And it's not been the second half that Louis Orr was hoping for. 25% shooting as a team here through the first close to 11 minutes.
Well, you got to run your stuff. You got to get guys involved. Sometimes when you're trying to get yourselves going, there are guys on the other side of the floor that are just standing there, and they kind of understand, okay, I'm just going to stand here because player X is trying to get himself going. You got to stay engaged, run some pick and rolls. I would say for Georgetown, this is the end where they could get themselves going a little bit, get some stops, put 2 or 3 stops together. Create some offense.
Oh, my. That's the price you pay for sitting in the front row. Lost a couple ounces.
Got to pay attention. You're sitting that close, you better pay attention.
Oh, yeah. You can't go to the concession stand and can I get $3 back? Butler basketball with a 17-point lead. Butler's largest lead has been 20. Five on the floor right now for Butler as their starting unit. Dangerous pass. Muhammad is fouled. 17-point game. It's still nothing easy as Muhammad will have to earn it at the line.
Hey, all night long, though, just when you think, okay, Amir Muhammad's in his sweet spot, that should be an easy layup. Butler closes in and have made it very difficult for him all night long. It's a good challenge. He's got to go earn it from the foul line.
Muhammad came into this ball game averaging 14.5 points per game. He's only at 4 right now. He's got another free throw coming. 6'5", 210 pounds. Now, he had a great non-conference, but now that we've turned the page and he's played a couple of Big East games, I think he's finding out what the Big East is all about.
Yeah, it's about scouting. They know his sweet spots. They know how to make him uncomfortable.
And Georgetown forces a turnover.
And 15 points is nothing in college basketball. 2, 3 stops put together. Capitalize. You got a shooter like Rice who needs to get it going. Still time.
Oh, man. Fouls are just accumulating for Butler. They're now in the double bonus. And Georgetown's going to have 2 free throws every time they get fouled for the rest of the game. So Rice to the line. May need a compass to find his way there. He has only attempted 5 free throws on the year. He's asking for directions. But once he's there, he's the truth. He's now 5 for 6 as a free throw shooter this year.
Well, you're talking about a guy who 85% of his shots have been from three-point range on the season, and he's taken some 127, 100 after this game. He's up in the mid-130s in terms of field goal attempts, so most of those are coming from 3. It's hard to get to the foul line when you're that far away from the basket.
Pressure in the backcourt. Last touch by Muhammad.
This is the Georgetown basketball that you'd love to see. You got young bodies, you have some depth, and you talked about it. 3 7-footers, guys who can protect in the backfield. You got to pressure the ball, and this isn't the type of game you play only with 8.5 minutes and you're down some 13 points. I think Georgetown can
basketball, but this pressure in the backcourt by Georgetown has caused some difficulty.
Yeah, complacency is one of those things that just sets in. It shouldn't happen for veteran teams. When you have older guys, you know, coaches believe old is gold. That's how you win, especially in the Big East with old teams. And you really shouldn't have any complacency when you get up 13. I don't care what you're up on the road. You can't relax. You have to keep your foot on the gas.
What can Butler do to just inbound the ball? They're having just a wicked, difficult time against this pressure from Georgetown. This is remarkable how they have just collapsed here over the last couple of minutes. I don't think it should be this hard, should it, Donnie?
No, and this to me, when you have a young team like Georgetown, this is how they should be playing. These kids, they don't get tired. And if they do, next man up. But this would help inspire their defense, I believe, a little bit. You get some steals. Now you get an opportunity to score the ball, turning teams over.
Billingsley. And it stays with Georgetown. Maybe not. Officials are going to convene. And it's Butler ball. That doesn't mean it's going to be Butler ball for long. They're having a hard time against this pressure. And a foul. A reach in on Muhammad.
Yeah, that's just that's unacceptable for a player like him to reach. That's lazy defense. You can't just reach in. That's another one of those pet peeves of coaches. Muhammad is such a great athlete. If you can't get a steal or a for sure thing in the open floor, you get back and you defend. You can't reach in and send Butler to the foul line. Just that's just unacceptable.
That's the 17th foul on Georgetown, so Butler is in the bonus. Seamus Lukosius. He's 3 for 3 at the line today. They get 4 for 4 at the line today, and they've all looked just like that. Picture perfect. Under 8 minutes to play, 15-point game. Bolden.
And that was halfway down.
Muhammad is fouled. And now Muhammad's getting an opportunity to get his points at the free throw line. 2 free throws coming from Muhammad. When we
love basketball history, you know, Eric, and I do a little bit extra work to dig for some good nuggets when I'm working with you. And this I thought was pretty interesting. The first year of the Big East, 1979-80, Louis Orr was the Big East scoring champion.
Woo!
At Syracuse. That was that was the only year he played. He is the only Syracuse player to win a league scoring title.
No! Really?
The history of the Big East.
Oh, that's fascinating. Man, that's cool stuff.
Something? Oh. Look, I go the extra mile for you, EC.
He also was, how about this? This is our producer, Eric Mandia, coming over this pearl. He's also been a Big East Coach of the Year. 2003, so what, 19 seasons ago, while with Seton Hall, Big East Coach of the Year. So take that, Donnie Marshall.
Yeah, he's had his hands in the Big East.
He's also an assistant at Providence in the mid-90s. Yeah. He was at Xavier, which would be his hometown school. He's born and raised in Cincinnati. But that was well before Xavier was in the Big East, 91 to 94. He's been the top assistant for Patrick Ewing ever since Patrick took over his alma mater. And like we said before, if Louis Orr was hoping to take over his alma mater, he'd be waiting a long time. He was recruited by and played for Jim Boeheim for 4 years in Syracuse. Jim Boeheim is still in charge of Syracuse basketball. The Louis and Bowie show. Louis Orr and Roosevelt Bowie. They had it rolling back in the late 70s. Bolden's had a nice night. 19 points for Bolden.
Talk about rolling. I mean, Bolden has really done a nice job creating his own shots here and there. I really believe that a lot of his buckets have come out of their offense. And because of the zone in the first half, he had the opportunity to shoot some open threes. But Butler does a nice job when guys get it going to continue to try to see if they have the hot hand. And Bolden's been that guy all night long for the Bulldogs.
Lukosius. This is Taylor. To Bolden. Extra pass.
Shows you a little bit about what they're made of, though. Bolden's got the hot hand, and he's swinging it. There he is. Name we haven't called a lot in terms of made buckets. Minu Muhammad.
He's now 2 for 15 shooting the basketball. 7 points, came in averaging 14.4. No Donald Carey, no Dante Harris for Georgetown. They missed that scoring. Bolden. Saves with Butler. Oh, the paint just opens up wide. Wow. Lukosius.
You know, those extra effort plays, 50-50 balls. It's one thing it's hard to practice for with Butler, but that's a lot of what their identity is too. They're going to fight you for every loose ball.
Rebounded Billingsley, and he had his legs taken out. The foul is called on Jaden Taylor.
See, I would say this play is so lucocious from the corner.
Is there anyone, Donnie, who would use the backboard on a baseline drive like that? Instead of just going with that finger roll, is anyone trying to sneak it off the backboard?
Only if you have pressure. You know, only if you're trying to get it up really quickly.
Okay.
There are guys around you, and you're hoping maybe, hey, it's a bigger player. Maybe I can get a goaltend here if I get it off the glass quicker. That's about it.
Now, clearly, I'm not 6'6" like Lukosius is, but I always thought baseline finger rolls were a little bit dicey.
Have to be precise, that's for sure. Or just dunk it at that side.
Sure. Beard swooping with the left hand. But Georgetown running out of time. We've gone under the 5:30 mark. Butler trying to get to 500 in conference play. 2-2. How about this? If they win this game, they will be unbeaten on the road. I've only played 2 true road games. But still, unbeaten on the road is unbeaten on the road. And Harris is fouled.
Talked about Chuck Harrison leading this team last year as a freshman in scoring last year. He comes into this game their 4th leading scorer behind Golden, Taylor, and Bolden. And you know, it's one of those situations that Laval Jordan thinks, okay, I got a guy who's young, second year, he can score the basketball, but they just haven't put up a ton of points this season. Eric, they don't score a lot, 63 points a game, and I think that's because they haven't shot the 3 ball well. It's a different story tonight. They're almost at their average in points with 5 minutes to play, and that 3-point line has been the difference in my opinion.
And Butler's made 9 3-pointers to just 2 for Georgetown. Nice find. Score the goal! And a foul. Colin Holloway. Give the assist to Muhammad.
These are the plays this time of the game for Georgetown where coaches are paying the most attention. You know, seeing how guys finish the game, if they finish the right way. You're down big, 5 minutes to play. You could make a little push, but sometimes players get into that mode where they're like, hey, we're not going to win. I'm just going to get outside of what we do. And coaches do not like that. It's an important time of the game for Georgetown, and those guys to finish the right way. Win, lose, or draw.
I know it's not a Georgetown thing to do, but Georgetown seems to have a bit of a pulse offensively ever since they've taken a 7-footer out of the game. Not having Wilson, Iguefe, or Mutombo in the game, it seems as if they're playing a little bit more fluid basketball.
Yeah, you can run and jump. You can switch everything. Against a team like Butler, that's an easy thing to do. Butler's not an overly large team. You can switch when you have those 7-footers on the floor. It's a little harder.
Harris. Both sides in the double bonus for the remainder of this ball game. Muhammad.
Just having a tough night. I thought there was some contact there by Golden, a little hand check at that free throw line, no call. And those nights like that, when it rains, it pours.
Muhammad missed 12 shots in the loss against Marquette. Tonight he has already missed 14 shots. This is his first 2 conference games of his college career. Golden crawls it up and in. Double figures for Bryce Golden.
just too easy. No resistance, down low. Coaches tell you to get your work done early. You got to push Golden off the block. You can't allow him to catch that ball in the paint.
Holloway is fouled. He has been active offensively today. Colin Holloway will have 2 free throws when we come back. 3:39. Georgetown needs to win this game, or else they'll be the only Big East team that does not have a winning record.
That's all right.
And they're running out of time. Ball crawls in for Colin Holloway. Holloway's got 10 points, couple of rebounds. Georgetown's next game is going to be over the weekend. They've got a game in New York against St. John's. That's on Sunday. Butler plays on Sunday as well. They'll be in Philly taking on Villanova.
Butler can just take their time. This is what they do. They are never in a hurry. They'll use all of that clock.
Shot clock is down to 6. Chuck Harris. Bolden's going to have to fire. That's actually a decent look considering the shot clock was on his back. Beard. Rebounded Mutombo. Ooh, that was nice. Little 16-footer along the baseline for Ryan Mutombo.
Yeah, he's got that range. He just doesn't get a lot of touches from that area.
Final 2:40. It's been all Butler. They've led by as many as 20. Currently leading by 12. Last touched by Butler. Now the Georgetown Hoyas shooting the basketball has not gone well. They were 27th in the country with that 38% shooting from behind the arc, but only 2 of 12, which my math tells me, 16% here on a Thursday night.
And Donald Carey obviously is a huge part of that. It's about 47% or so. Dante Harris, not quite. He's in the 20s, but when you don't have your full complement, it's just hard to now force other guys in other spots to either take more shots, take shots they're not comfortable with, and you're playing against a good defensive team in Butler. They know how to expose you when you're down some numbers.
No reason for Butler to take a shot until that shot clock is down to single digits. That got to 9, and Harris put it up. Mutombo blocked by Enzi. Got it back, throws it through. 8 points for Mutombo.
More pressure. Sometimes when you are down in games, playing from behind, and you use tactics to dig yourself out of those games, you find out something about your team. Maybe you can put on a full court press earlier in the game and not just trying to play catch up. You know, it's something that Georgetown, depending on how long their guys are out, something they may have to think about.
Aaron Thompson got knocked to the floor. Just had
5 days or 9 days, excuse me. It's players love it because we can just play, but coaches they need practice, and teams will need practice as you head into February.
Chuck Harris, what a nice move. And that probably will just about do it. It's a 12-point lead for Butler. Holloway, blocked by Enzi. And Georgetown will not call off the Dogs. Instead, we'll have free throws coming. Double bonus, 2 free throws for Butler. Aaron Thompson going to get his here late in the ball game. Just 2 points in 28 minutes for Thompson, but he earns his scholarship in other ways.
Well, it was interesting. Laval Jordan told us that as they prepare for their day off tomorrow that it would be a much better tour through the museum with a win than it would be with a loss. Completely understand what he means by that.
Beard. And a foul in the backcourt. Muhammad stops the clock. And I think he was just told by Louis Orr that we probably don't need to be doing that anymore. We'll have free throws. 13-point ball game, 45.7 remaining. Bolden happy that he got fouled. Going to give him a chance for a 20-point night. That's been a happy homecoming for the former George Washington shooter, Jair Bolden. One of the 3 different Division I schools he's played at: George Washington, South Carolina, and now his second year with Butler. 20 points in 32 minutes, 21 points in 32 minutes. Georgetown going to fall to 0-2. 6-7 on the year. Just hoping to get whole again. Maybe this weekend, Dante Harris, Donald Carey are back in the mix. They need them. They need that kind of offense. 55 points in conference play is not going to get it done for the most part. Beard with the 3.
Man, you're talking about a Georgetown team that averages 76 points a game, so you're absolutely right. Get whole, but what a performance, really, from start to finish for Butler. One of their most complete games of the entire season.
Now Holloway commits the foul with 20 seconds remaining. So 2 more free throws coming. Yeah, it's been that kind of night for Aminu Muhammad. He knows how he's going to be defended here in the Big East. Now he's got a chance to adapt.
Well, you got to be creative. And what I would tell young players is you got to get back in the gym. You know, anytime you start to feel comfortable, you have to make yourself uncomfortable. Stay longer, get there earlier. It's a sign of the difference in being good versus being great.
Well, we've got more basketball coming your way right here on FS1. We've got Big Ten basketball. You got Indiana and Iowa. That's a good one.
And Mike Woodson's done a terrific job his first year back with the Hoosiers. Gone 40 years, coming back, making a difference.
So that'll do it. The Butler Bulldogs. They go to 2-2 at Big East play. They're now 9-6 overall.